Hi everyone, I'm Rincey and this is Rincey Reads. Today I'm going to be doing sort of like a mid-year check-in. I always enjoy doing this just to see like how I'm doing on my New Year's resolutions as well in terms of like the reading ones and then sort of talking about how my reading's going. I'm also going to be talking about the read along that I'm going to be kind of hosting in August. So, you know, all of that information is forthcoming. So I went back and I looked at the goals that I wrote down for myself in terms of the reading, and I made a video about it. I didn't realize I only made 3. I thought I had made more than that and I was just like forgetting some, but definitely not. I decided to like give myself a little bit of a break this year and not to put too much pressure on the books that I was reading. I still have like general goals in terms of like making sure I'm reading enough authors of color. But yeah, overall, I'm keeping it pretty light this year with reading goals, and so that means I'm doing pretty well with them. The first reading goal is to complete the 2017 Read Harder Challenge, which obviously I'm not done with it yet, but I'm basically a month ahead of schedule right now, and I'm hoping to just stay a month ahead, so maybe in like December I don't have to really worry about it. I made a video recently talking about the 2017 Read Harder Challenge and all of the books that I read for it, so I will link to that in case you guys are interested. But yeah, there's a couple of challenges here that I'm slightly concerned about, but I'm hoping it'll be okay. It's mostly just like the micro press one that I really am just like, oh god, don't know what I'm gonna do for that one yet, but I feel like I should just visit like one of my local indies and see if they have like a tiny zine or something I can pick up. My second goal is to make sure that I'm reading like 25% international authors. So the way that I'm doing this is it doesn't necessarily have to be a working translation, but it has to be an author who's from like a different country. And the way that I'm calculating this in my head is it has basically 75% of my reading can be from the United States or the United Kingdom, and then I want the other 25% to be from other countries. And right now I'm actually on track for that, which surprised me because I feel like I don't read enough internationally, but I mean, I'm still at 25%, so I'm reading some. So yeah, around like 63.8% of the books I've read this year are from the United States, and then 6.4 are from the United Kingdom, and then the rest are from a bunch of other different countries. And then the final New Year's resolution that I made for myself this year is to read The Brothers Karamazov by Dostoevsky. So this is the book that I'm going to be reading in August. For those of you guys who have been on this channel or watching my channel for a couple of years now, you know that every August I read a very large, intimidating book. And so this is the book that I chose for this year. So this is going to be happening in August. I don't have a fancy hashtag this yet. You guys always come up with really great hashtags, so I'm hoping you'll come up with a good one for this one. But it's like, there's not really a great, short way to deal with this unless I just hashtag it like Brothers K or something like that. But yeah, so the edition that I have is PNV, or the translation that I have is the PNV translation. You can get whichever translation that you want to get. The reason why I pick books like this or classics like this is because they're usually free as ebooks. You're also welcome to like get it from your library, or if you want to buy your own edition, you have a couple of weeks to do so. I'm going to start reading this right around August 1st and through the month of August. So the way this book is set up is there are 4 parts. So it works out really well. So we can basically do like a part a week, and then each part has like books, and then each book has like chapters. So you can break that up however you want if you would like. But basically, we're going to be reading about a part a week. I'm really excited to give this a read because the only other Dostoevsky book I've read is Crime and Punishment. I read that in high school, but I haven't read anything since then. I'll be making more videos about this in the future, but this is sort of like my warning. This is coming up, so prepare, pick up your copy of Brothers Karamazov if you're interested. So yeah, I'm excited to read this in August. There's a pretty good chance that this might be the only book I read in August, depending on how readable it is. I know Tolstoy is like a really readable writer. I don't think Dostoevsky's quite the same. Again, the only experience I have with him is reading him in high school, so it might be different for me now. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this goes. Alright, and then some other just like quick fun facts about my reading so far this year. Genre-wise, pretty much all over the place, as you might expect if you pay attention to the books that I read. I'm expecting like the mystery section of this to increase, or the mystery percentage of this to increase, with me doing the Read or Dead podcast. I'm like prioritizing mysteries and thrillers even more than I have been in the first part of the year. So I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes like 25% of my reading. But in general, I'm hoping to also increase like the nonfiction books that I've been reading. I noticed that I haven't been reading very much nonfiction, and I've sort of been craving it recently. And I have picked up a couple for like this month, but I'm hoping again that that'll be a little bit larger. I've also been tracking whether or not the version of the book that I'm actually reading is physical or digital, just because since I started the new job, I've been reading more like ebooks. I've been checking out ebooks of like the physical copies of the books that I already own, just to like make it easier for me when I'm commuting to like read through my TBR. Like 50% of the books that I've been reading have been physical and 50% have been like ebooks basically, and it's been good. I'm really enjoying having that option now. To the surprise of no one, the vast majority of the books that I'm reading have been published within the past like 4 years or so. I don't know if I'm going to do anything to change that, because I mean the books that I'm just getting for free are all new releases because of Book of the Month, the couple of arcs that I get every year from publishers, and even just like the books that I'm hearing about a lot are often like front list stuff. I do want to incorporate more backlist into my reading, and I'm working on that, but it still seems like the backlist is mostly just still like 3 years old. I've also been tracking publishers this year just because I thought it would be really interesting, and I'm not doing it on like each individual like imprint or each individual house. I'm basically tracking sort of like the biggest publisher name. So if it's an imprint of Penguin Random House, I'm just tracking it as Penguin Random House, etc. And then obviously like the smaller presses all get their own entries, just because I want to see like how it all breaks down. And it's basically just breaking down the way that you think it would, in terms of like the biggest publishers are getting the biggest percentages of my reading, but it's still relatively like evenly split up, which is something that makes me happy, because or something that I just think would be really interesting. I had just always wondered like whether or not I favored certain publishers over others, and it turns out I don't, which shouldn't really be that surprising, because I don't really favor genres, and I don't really favor authors even very much. So yeah, it's not surprising at all that my publisher breakdown is basically as diverse as it could possibly be. Another thing that I thought was just really interesting to track this year is to see like where I'm getting my books from. Around 30% of the books that I've been reading have been coming from the library. 20% are books that I've bought myself. 26% are from Book of the Month, which I mean they're sending them to me for free, so that shouldn't be surprising at all. 9.5% are from publishers, so they're books that publishers have sent my way, and 4.8% are from friends. So it's basically either someone bought me a book, or it's like someone from Book Riot had an extra arc or something along those lines and sent them along to me. I'm very happy with the way that's breaking down, and also just because I was slightly concerned that libraries would be too big of a percentage and I wouldn't be reading the books from my actual TBR or my physical owned unread books, and it hasn't been happening yet, so that's good. One of my sort of like mental things to keep in check is I have a spreadsheet of all of my unread books, and I never want my unread books to get over 50, and I've definitely been doing that. It's basically been staying between like 45 to 50 unread books, which I'm pretty happy with. I think it would be nice to get it to like 30, but I don't see that realistically happening. I mean, it could. I just need to be more diligent about not buying a lot of books, but I also feel like I haven't been buying a lot of books. I've just had a lot of books sort of just come my way because of things like Book of the Month and publishers and whatnot. So yeah, that's everything I wanted to share with you guys in this video. Leave a comment down below letting me know how your reading is going so far this year. Are you guys tracking stats with your reading? And if so, leave some of like the more interesting ones down in the description. Or if you have any questions about the Brothers Karamazov read along, it's super chill. Like, just read it at your own pace. We'll talk about it in a couple of videos. I don't do super intensive like read-alongs. Like, I don't do Goodreads groups or anything like that, because I just am not that sort of personality type. Or if you have like a hashtag idea, because usually I just post stuff over on Twitter and Instagram. So let me know if you have a hashtag idea down in the description or down in the comment section, because I have always just taken whatever hashtag ideas you guys have had. So yeah, that's all I have for now, and thanks for watching.